Hello, just you're back to another set review, and today's review is of set number 71002. It is LEGO Minifigures Series 11, and these just came out in the US. I mean, these came out basically last week, because it's Sunday, and they have been released specifically through Target and Toys R Us. That's where people are finding them at right now, but you could probably find them at Walmart maybe in a month or so, and other retailers. But for now, it's just at Target and Toys R Us, it seems like. And there is 16 minifigures. I have all 16 as you guys saw from the opening video, so I'm going to be taking a look at each one individually. And they do retail for $3 in the US at least. And these have been out in Europe for a month already. People have them there. And you can see the packaging right here. It's a cool packaging, but they all look cool. It's a darker green than Series 3 because Series 3 also had a green color. And it's very shiny, so I really do like that. I like the packaging. And here is instructions. You can see it's just one leaflet like they always have for each series. And the back, this returns because last time all they had was like Mr. Gold. And you can see it just shows all the little pieces and everything. And so that's basically standard. And there's 16 minifigures. And so let's take a look at each figure individually because we already took a look at the packaging. So here is the first figure, and I guess he's a Barbarian. And a lot of people like him, and now that I have the figure, I have to say I like him too, because he has lots of nice printing, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And you can see his nice torso printing and leg printing. Very nice that he has boot printing, but sometimes I don't like that because it could ruin continuity, but, you know, I'm fine with it. And you can see the side printing on his legs, which is always nice. Very detailed, because you can see all the little ridges and stuff like that. The back printing, which is nice too. And this side. And so he does have side printing on both arms too. So he has side printing on his arms and legs. Like I said, very detailed. And his hairpiece is the Daston hair in black. And it's not the most common thing in black. It came in a few sets. Like I know it came in the Doc Ock Ambush and like the Kingdoms event calendar and a couple of other stuff. And you can see his front facial printing and his back facial printing has nothing. And that's it for this figure. So he is a pretty nice figure. So here is the second figure, and it is a Scarecrow, and he is another fantastic figure. I love his torso printing. You can see it's just very detailed. He has all the patches and the plaid shirt. I think it's called plaid. And you can see his legs has two separate parts. He has parts of the plaid shirt, and I'm not really good with fashion, so I don't know if it's plaid. And the patches right there with that nice kind of, I forget what color that is for the blue. And then he does have side patches right there and on side printing on both of his arms. And this one doesn't have a patch or anything, so that's cool that there's some variation there. And he does come with this little, I forget what these are called. I totally forgot. I researched it because I got it wrong in the pack opening, and then, yeah, it's not a pitchfork, is it? I forgot. But you can see it's not that rare of a piece because it did come in an animal pack this year, I know, and it came in an Alien Conquest set. And you can see that he does have some back printing, which is detailed too. You got basically more of the plaid shirt and a patch. And the crow is Tonto's crow. I don't want to take it off because it's basically, it is the same as Tonto's crow, but the peg could get damaged when you take it off, when you put it in the hole and then you take it out. Yes, I know that sounds weird. So I'm always really careful with those. But you can see his hat piece is just absolutely amazing. I think I love the detail right here, and it is a new mold because you got that little ribbon part right here. If you could see that. So they did go all out, and it's not really a rubber mold, it's more of like a plastic mold, not too hard of a plastic, but still. And so yeah, overall I love this figure, and I almost forgot, his facial printing is cool too. It's not like the Scarecrow from Batman because he's happy. And so yeah, this is probably my second favorite of the whole series besides the Bavarian girl, which we'll get to actually next. Okay, so here is the next figure, and it is my favorite of the theme, and if you guys know on your works, I've been raving about this figure for a while, but it is the Bavarian lady, or the Pretzel girl, whatever you want to call them. I think her official name is Pretzel girl, but you can see just amazing and an adorable figure. I love her torso printing, where it's kind of detailed, but it's not like over detailed, and she does come with this nice little, I forget what they're called, like felt apron kind of for her legs. And I'm not too fond of those usually, and this was kind of a hard time to put on because they get bent a lot. But still, if you don't like that, you could actually take it off, and I'll show it taken off later because her legs are really cool because she has shoes on, and there's a shoe printing right there. Sometimes that could ruin continuity, but if you don't like that, you could just switch it out for basically a white torso or whatever. So it's nice to get some detail right there, and there's actually no other printing on it, so I don't really need to take it off because the only printing on them is the shoes. So that's going to be useful for a lot of people who want to put shoes on their LEGO minifigures and stuff like that. So that is really cool. When you get the Pretzel, Pretzel isn't too common. I know it came in the Unexpected Gathering in a Series 8 minifigure, which was the Lederhosen guy. And I'm not sure what other sets it came in. So it's probably the cheapest way to get it at this moment because Series 8 is obsolete where I live. And you can see there's even back printing on her little felt apron or whatever. And her braids, she has a really awesome hairpiece where it's a little bit rubbery, so you might have to be a little bit careful. But you can see right there, it's basically hair with braids. And so that looks really pretty, and you can put it on her right there. And so I love that part. And her face is really, it's anime looking and stuff like that, but I think that's really adorable. So this is definitely one of my favorite minifigures of the theme, and no surprise because I've been raving about this minifigure for a while. And just props to LEGO. I especially love that they put a new hairpiece on her and the face, and everything just molds together into an awesome minifigure. So the next figure is the Evil Battle Mech, and he is kind of a reference to the Series 9 Battle Mech, which was one of my favorite minifigures. And you can see he's just a really good figure. He has a nice black Tron logo right there, and that's a very nice reference by LEGO. And he has a little bit of gray on this part right here in his helmet piece, so that's really cool. He has some nice green coloring on his headpiece, which you can take off his helmet to see that. It's basically lime green, and a nice visor printing on there, and nice printing on his arms right there, which is side printing, which it's nice that we're getting a lot of side printing in the series, and on his torso, which you could take off right here. You can see it's very detailed right there, so that's all nice. And he has no back printing, sadly, which kind of sucks, but the rest of the minifigure is really wonderful. And if you want to see the back of that piece right there, you can see it's kind of like jetpacks or whatever. And his blaster isn't really anything special, but it's still a nice throw-in. So here is the Islander, and you can see he does have this nice brown spear, which isn't really that rare. And he does have an awesome new piece for his mask, and that's connected actually at his neck. So that's kind of interesting how they did that. And it has some engraving. It's not just like a printing. You can see there's some outlines if you feel it. And it's basically a rubber piece, but it's not too rubbery to the point where it would break. But it might actually bend a little bit if you feel it too hard, which I hope didn't happen when I felt another one of them, because I don't want to ruin other people's minifigures or whatever. So you could see he does have very nice, leg printing, sorry about that, which is basically not one of the things, which I was expecting it to be like the Bavarian woman, where it's one of these foldables or whatever. And so I'm glad they didn't do that, because sometimes they can be annoying when they're like this. I know they did do it with the Hawaiian girl from Series 3. And you can see he does have some nice torso printing, which you got to take off everything, and you can kind of see how it's connected, where it's at the neck right there. You just got to be a little bit careful. Okay, there you go. You can see his torso printing right there. No side printing on his arms like some of the other figures, but you do get this nice Islander hairpiece, which is basically the same from the old pirate sets and stuff like that with the Islanders. So that's nice. And here is a close look at his head. You can see he's kind of grinning, and he has some nice facial printing. So it's definitely a really cool figure, and I especially like the mask piece. Okay, so here is the Gingerbread Man figure, and he is another really nice figure. He's pretty cute because he looks very cartoony, which I like. And he does have a special molded headpiece, and the only complaint I really have is that that side looks a little bit weird. But they said they made it like that so he could stand flat if you put him flat, so on like a table or whatever. His face will stand flat like a cookie. So I guess I understand why they did that. And his filling inside is a bit of a dark brown, it looks like. And his torso is really nice and cartoony, but you can see there's some little speckles right there, which is a very nice touch on LEGO's part because it looks like an actual gingerbread cookie. And same goes with his legs. He has some nice printing all the way on the bottom right there and on his side arms. And he does come with an exclusive mug that says Dunk Me, which is very cute. And if you want to see how his headpiece works, it's just basically a molded headpiece with a little hole right there. So that is nice, very nice figure, and it is the Gingy. And here's probably one of my most disappointing figures, and I really did love the elf when I first saw him, but now I think my coloring is wrong because the coloring on his hat and his legs are kind of a lighter green than his torso, which really, really annoys me. And another complaint I have with him is if you put his hat back like this way, I was not really expecting it to work, but I've never had this hat piece, and it covers up his face. So I was hoping to make like a Link mod by turning it backwards this way, but of course it doesn't work. And personally, I should have known that because I guess the other molds like that were like this, but I didn't get any of the other molds. And this mold is actually exclusive because it does have the little ears on the side. But otherwise, it is a pretty cute figure. I like his face, it's pretty cute. And you can see his present is a very nice piece because basically it is a regular 2x2. And the tile piece is nice because it's basically a printed tile with a golden ribbon. So that's cute. And he does come with a little bear. And it's another exclusive printing because he does have a little bow tie and some nice coloring on there. So overall, it is a cute figure, but not as good as I thought it would be. And here is the Yeti. A lot of people love this figure. I still think basically what I thought when I first saw him. He's kind of okay. You can see that his mold, his head is basically a huge mold, which is a new exclusive mold, which is, I guess, is pretty cool. But I think it would have been better, and I explained this in my thoughts video, if they would have done something like Bombor, I think from The Hobbit, where he has a regular minifigure face, but he has a headpiece that kind of attaches all the way through his body and covers up some of his torso and stuff like that. I think that would have looked much better than this. And you can see he does have some back molding, which is pretty detailed, I guess. Now his headpiece works is basically one huge mold, and if you see, there's a little bit of connectors right there, so you put the hole through there and then it fits on. And you can see his torso printing it does have a belly button, which looks a little bit weird, but the fur is kind of cute, I guess. And he has some nice leg printing with fantastic shoe printing. And I like how they're doing a lot of shoe printing on here along with the side arm printing. There's none on this figure. But I do like the popsicle piece, which is exclusive in this color to this figure. So that's pretty cool. Here's a mountain climber, and here's another one of those figures that I liked it when I first saw him, but now I don't really like him as much. Because one thing, if you see there's actually a glitch, or probably a really early version of the figure on this little flip out book or whatever, you know, the little leaflet of instruction, where it has a little bit of brown coloring and a slight gold coloring right there on the little pickaxe. But on here, the pickaxe is just normal. And it does fix that on the back because the back just shows a normal pickaxe. But I'm really disappointed because it would have been nice to get a new recolored pickaxe with the bottom part and stuff. But they chose not to do that, which is really disappointing. And you can see that his little rope piece is still a pretty cool piece, and it is new. It's connected by this little part right here. And he could grasp onto that part. And it is pretty detailed. I like the mold on that. And his torso printing and his leg printing is really detailed too, which is always nice. And his facial printing kind of reminds me of this it was a skier from Series 2, I believe. And he has basically, he looks like that, but with different goggles and some cheekbones and stuff like that. And he does come with a nice red helmet, which isn't very common. I believe it has come in red before, but not in a while. Or at least I don't have it. So that's really it for this figure. Disappointing with the pickaxe. And here's the welder. He's another fantastic figure. Love his little helmet right here. And you can see there's actually space. I don't know if you could attach something there, but it's probably just a little detail right there with the little hinges on the back. But you can see it has a nice printing where it's kind of a glare on the helmet, which is a nice touch up. And it is connected through that little part where you basically put it over the head. So I'll show you how it connects. And you can see his facial printing has some black smudges on it. And he does have a pretty cool torso, but no printing on his legs. And he comes with this new piece, which reminds me a little bit of the hazmat piece where it's like connected to the back, or it might be, is it? I don't think it's the same piece, but you can see it's connected to this little can of, I'm guessing, something that's really flammable. So that's cool. And you can see the back right there, nice printing. And here's how it connects. If you see, there's like a part, and then all you have to do is push it on his head. So there's a little bit of space on his back right there, but that's how it's supposed to be when you're welding. There's a little bit of space that kind of doesn't cover up your head. So overall, another really nice figure. Definitely one of my favorites because I just love all the little details like the glare on the helmet and this new piece right here, or this new connection. So that's nice. And here's the female scientist. You can see she has two vials, and one vial has a blue liquid and one has a light green liquid. So that's very nice. I love how you get two different colored vials. Nice to get some variation on those pieces. And she has a very cartoony torso and leg printing, and I really do like that because it's I don't know, it's detailed but not too detailed. It looks very cartoony. So that's a nice touch up, and she does have a purple shirt under there, and you know purple is my favorite color. Sadly, no back printing, but there's not really much back printing that is needed. And she does have a very nice face, but the same little ponytail that we've been getting since Series 1. We got it in Series 1 in this color. And her facial printing is a little bit weird. I think it's a little bit stretched out, but I think it still looks pretty cool. You can see she does have some nice purple lipstick on there, and no back facial printing. And here's the Blues Brother, obviously a reference to like the Saturday Night Live Blues Brothers sketches and then the movies. And you can see that it's actually really cool that we do get a new saxophone piece. I'm guessing that will be used in the LEGO Simpsons line, specifically that Lisa's sax set. And you can see that he does have a very nice torso printing. I mean, there are printing that look like this, but this is definitely a different printing with slight variations. And I always like getting business suit printing and stuff like that, like tuxedo printing or whatever. And he has no back printing on his torso and no leg printing, but I think that the saxophone piece does make up for it because it's very, very usable. I mean, we have gotten brick-built ones before, like in, I believe, the Winter Village set. And we might have gotten a Fabuland version, but of course it was too big and you can't get it nowadays. And he does have basically a regular fedora right there, kind of like Indiana Jones hat. And some very nice torso printing where it looks, facial printing, where it looks very serious, but for some reason, it looks a little bit weird when you take that off because it makes him have a really big forehead, if you could see. I don't know if that's just an error where his face, his like glasses and mouth is printed a little bit down, or if that was intentional, but I think that looks a little bit weird. But of course, if you put like a hairpiece on him, it might cover it up a little bit. And here is the diner worker, and this is another really cool figure because you do get this little tray right here, it was used in the waiter from Series 9, I believe, in a gray color, but this time it is in that white color, so that's cool. That nice ice cream piece in the pink color, which is, I think we haven't gotten in that color, I'm not entirely sure. And you can see she does have some rollerblades down there. Actually, I put one of the rollerblades on the wrong. You're supposed to put it like this. And so there you go. The rollerblade piece I actually don't have it from, I didn't have before I got this figure, because it was originally from Series 9 with the Derby Girl, or I think they called her. I'm not entirely sure what that, or Roller Derby Girl, I'm not sure. And you can see now it is in pink. So that is very nice, and you can just stick the minifigure legs on there. And her torso printing isn't as bad as when I first saw the pictures, because it looks like it's kind of a tannish, a very, very light tan, which looks nicer, because I thought it was just going to be like kind of a very similar yellow to her like arms and stuff like that. So it kind of made it cool looking right there. And she has very nice pants printings and shoe printings, which is pretty cool. No back printing for her, but she has a cool facial printing and a very nice new hair piece, where it's kind of like a big comb on the top with the swirl, but it turns out to be a ponytail on the back, which I didn't know actually. And if you turn her around, she has a mad expression, which is a nice touch up on there, so she does have a double-sided face. So another very nice figure. I especially love the hair piece because it's actually not as bad, or I didn't think it was bad, but it's more usable now that we have the ponytail back, because I didn't think we would get a ponytail back. So here's a grandma figure, and I love her leg color. I'm not sure if we've gotten that in that color before. I'm not sure what color that is, actually. And she does have a very nice torso printing and a nice recolor of the Series 9 Starlet's hair. And the whole touch on this that a lot of people don't like is her squinty eyes. But personally, I think it's not too creepy as people put it. You can see it a little bit better right there. And her hairpiece is very, very good. Like how it has all those details right there, but of course it isn't exclusive to her. She has no back printing at all. And the main part why a lot of people are going to get this is not only because of the hair and the torso and stuff like that, but also she does come with a new cat piece, which I think is a fantastic piece. It kind of reminds me of some of the old, or it reminds me more of the Chihuahua from Series 10, which was with the Trendsetter girl. And you can see this has some nice printing, some nice coloring, and it's just a very, very nice mold and going to be very usable. So I hope we do get recolors of him soon, but this cat is just very, very good. So you can see all the printing right there, and just a totally new mold for this, and I'm sure we'll see them in future sets. And she does also come not only with a cap, but with a basket in this light color, which is very nice. So overall, one of my favorites just because of the stuff that comes with her and her hair. And basically she's all good except for her facial printing, which looks a little bit weird, but I think she looks okay. Not as bad as some people put it to be. So here's a Constantinople or the British Bob, and you can see that he does come with a little baton, or at least I think it's a baton. It's either a baton or a club, which is a very usable piece and a new piece. You can see all the detail right there. It's basically could be attached to any minifigure, and it could be used as a weapons for like a mafia or whatever. So that is cool. And he does come with a nice torso printing where it's very detailed and looks very accurate. And no back printing or anything like that, but also a new hat piece with some nice printing on there. So that is really cool. So you get 2 new pieces on him, which is always nice. And he does come with a very nice face where he has a strap on him and a nice mustache and stuff like that. So a very cool figure for all the new pieces and the printing. Just really cool, especially if you're British. And the worst for last. I know I've ranted about this figure and my rant still stays up because this is one of the worst figures we've gotten in a while. There was no need to make this figure except for a companion for the Clockwork Robot from Series 6, but nobody really asked for a companion for a Clockwork Robot. Maybe if it was an evil robot, I guess that would be cool. And they could have made it an evil female, but they just chose to make it a female robot. I mean, come on. Really? And you can see that she has some nice printing, but it's not nice as in, it's just cool that it's detailed, but it's not nice as in, wow, this is really cool, because I don't like how it looks right there. It's just really just detailed. And she does have some shoe printing, as I call it, which is printing all the way down there. And some printing right there. And her eyes, she basically has lipstick and stuff like that. Like, who would put lipstick on the robot or whatever? And she doesn't even look like the one from, what is it called? Jetsons. And it's just a really bad figure. And she does come with that clockwork right there, which is not new to the set. It also came in the Clockwork Toy Soldier and the Series 6 Clockwork Robot. So yeah, not really a good figure at all. Probably one of the worst of this series for sure, but not maybe one of the worst collectible minifigures. Or yeah, I think it is the worst. So yeah, black on this figure. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wants it. Ugh. But all the other figures, I have to say, I'll just do my final verdict right here. All the other figures are good, and I love this series. I think that maybe it is better than Series 10. I like Series 10 a lot, but I mean, Series 10 had a lot of, it had, I think, like 2 ones that I didn't really like. This one only has this one, which I don't really like. All the other figures are really detailed. We got a lot of shoe printing, which is printing down there. Like I said, a lot of side printing, a lot of all this printing. So if I had to rate the series as a whole, it would be an A+. I think it's just a fantastic series. And these are all fantastic series. Like, the whole minifigure line is probably one of my favorites and definitely one of the best. And, I mean, wow, I just love the Bavarian girl. That's my favorite from this series. But we also got some really awesome ones, like the Scarecrow. I mean, that's just a fantastic figure. Love all the printing and the coloring on him. The Welder is another fantastic figure. The evil battle mech or whatever you want to call him. So all these figures are just awesome. I love them. So definitely get a lot of the series. I think in the future, people who missed out on this are really going to regret it. And so yeah, that's it for the series. I'll see you guys later. I know this was very lengthy, but I'll see you guys hopefully with Series 12 now. Well, Series 12 will come soon. So I don't know what I'm going to review next. Maybe some speeders for September. Who knows? So I'll see you guys later. Bye.